Not a good.
All right,
This
so hey
Friday.
guys, we should be live on YouTube right now. So I'll go through and introduce you one at a time and you can say a quick g'day. So first up, we have Jesse Showwater. Jesse is a cool looking dude who knows his stuff. He's also a full stack designer sharing weekly videos on his 85K YouTube channel. Jesse, how are we going?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. I'm excited
That's
to be
good.
here.
That's fantastic. We got the audio sorted.
Audio's working. I almost messed the whole thing up.
The stuff that everyone watching won't understand. Up next, we have James Martin. James is an English logo designer and owner of his own design studio, Baby Giant Design Co., where he helps businesses define and develop their unique story. James, what is up, my man?
Yo, yo, yo. How goes it? All good?
I'm doing fantastic. I hope you're doing fantastic as well.
Yeah. Always live and kicking, mate. Live and kicking.
And then last but not least, we have Dorian Village. Dorian is a UI/UX designer, dominating Instagram at the moment with his 50,000 designer community, where he posts short articles on solving problems with design. Dorian, what's up?
Hey man, how you doing? I'm doing really great. This is awesome. And that's a cool introduction there.
That's awesome. All right, well, if you guys are ready, I'm happy to jump straight into some questions. I know that live chat is going to be loving these. And real quick, to the people watching at home, in the live chat, if you can write !Q and then your question. So later on in this session, we're going to do some questions first, predetermined questions, then do some live Q&A with you guys. So just a quick reminder to do !Q and then write your questions, and then that will be sent to me so I can ask these guys. All right, let's jump into it. Question number one. How can I build an engaged audience online? Let's start with James.
Yo, right. Me to go first then. I suppose, it's in the question, isn't it? I think there's three main things you have to do. One of them is engage. The other is be consistent. And the third one, and probably most important, is, be a human.
Yes.
So if I kind of break those down simply, obviously engaging with your audience is all about replying to your DMs, comments, and all that jazz, making sure you're actually there and alive. Being consistent, I can probably go into this in a bit more detail later on, but I've got this kind of saying, it's like, don't be a magpie. So magpies see shiny stuff and then they kind of go over here, and then they see something else shiny and then they go over here.
Right.
When I'm talking about consistency, I think it's so important to, just do what you do and do it very well. And don't stray too far off on other bits and bobs. And then being a human is just, showing emotion, be passionate, be happy, love life, love design, and just, get on with it. I suppose I'm trying to keep my answers short because I tend to babble a lot. So there you go. That's awesome. My answer done.
Fantastic. Dorian, you're up next. Hit us with some value.
Okay, great. So the way I see it actually, when we're saying how do I build an audience online? For me, it's actually, you want to build it and you want to maintain it. As maintaining this is also part of building. So what I would suggest is, as Jesse is saying, you gotta find your niche and you gotta stick to that. Because what a lot of people are doing, you see that one thing that it's getting a lot of likes, and you just want to try that but eventually you'll get bored because that's not who you are. So and you can't reproduce the content that's not yours. So you find your niche, that's what makes you different, and you gotta be yourself. And then you showcase it, you test it, you post constantly. But posting constantly, it has also to do about creating quality content, because quality is what brings people back. And then the last but not least is you gotta maintain your audience. So this is probably the hardest part, as you gotta get engaged. You're creating a community and you wanna be there, you need to reply to those comments, messages, and then I guess you're good to go.
That's it. Jesse, what have you got?
Yeah, I love all these answers. I'm gonna like piggyback off their answers because they're so smart. I think there's a lot of things you could say about like the execution of building and maintaining like an audience, but I think if I think you can do that with the wrong intentions. I think if you do it with the right intentions, which is to offer people value, to serve people, to do something you enjoy, and just put yourself out there in a genuine way, I think that's going to go better for you no matter what. It's going to lead you to want to encourage and maintain and post constantly and do all those things. If I try to be somebody that I'm not, I'm going to get burnt out really, really quick.
Yeah.
If I try to treat people like numbers and a means to an end for myself, I'm not going to offer them the value they deserve or try to be genuine to myself. So that's my biggest thing. Is like, don't look at people as numbers. Don't look at people as a means to an end. Treat them like real life relationships and communities. And I would never barge into a room full of people that I don't know in the real world and just start promoting myself. That would be weird. So I want to like ask a lot of questions. I want to like treat everything like a real world thing. Like, I tend to do that with everything, but like especially online, social media, all that, it's way too full of robots and people just using it as a means to an end. Be yourself, treat people like themselves, and just love on people the way you actually would, like I would with my friends. I would be a real crappy friend if every time we hung out, I just went, have you heard about me? Let me tell you about me. That would be the worst thing I could do. So that's my biggest thing, is just like treat people like real people.
For sure. Yep, I think that's it. That's the one.
Classic.
Real quick on just adding to that, we'll go around the group real quick. How much time do you invest per week into building an engaged audience? James?
Well, it's probably an hour a day, I would have thought. Kind of just engaging. But as you say, like a lot. For example, like with me, a lot of the content I create for my clients, and I get to share it on Instagram. So it's not like I spend a lot of time creating the content and then putting it on. It's already created. But yeah, I suppose it's kind of an hour a day, and then obviously engaging, replying to comments. So yeah, maybe like 7 to 10 hours a week, probably max, I would have thought.
Yep, that's awesome. Dorian?
For me, it's a bit more actually. Really into Instagram lately and do the other social media. But for the other people, I would say you gotta decide if you want to turn social media into a career, or you want to do, like, for example, a side job and then social media as like a second thing. I would say I'd probably spend like 3 hours a day sometimes, because and sometimes I'm not that creative. I spend more, but something like that.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Jesse?
Yeah, for me it fluctuates because I'm working on being a more consistent person in all things that I do. So depending on the week, it could be an hour a day, it could be 30 minutes a day, or I could have procrastinated for a really long time, and now I have to spend 3 or 4 hours a day just to keep up with the schedule that I've set for myself. But I do think it should be at least a little bit every day. That's like kind of my goal. And I try to batch things to make them more efficient, productive, because what I'm really like, time is my most precious like commodity that I have. And so I can always make more money. I can always blah, 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 but I can't make more time. So I try to be very, very protective of my time. So social media, just like my career and everything else, takes a back seat to the time that I guard heavily for my wife and my kids and my life. So that will always, hey, if I can't get these things done, then I just walk away and I didn't post today. Like, that's just what happens. Like, and I think a lot of people have a problem with that online, which is like, hey, why aren't you posting more consistently? I'm like, I'm trying, but I want to be at my son's soccer game, so take a hike. Bro.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
There is a life outside social media.
It really
exactly.
is. Awesome. Let's move on. I want to start talking about now strategies for managing clients and projects. So do you guys have any processes or anything or software you might recommend? So yeah, what's your go-to strategies for managing clients and projects? James, we'll start with you again.
Always me first.
Put him on the hot seat.
So a strategy is, strategy is always be in control. That's the thing I find most important. Overly communicating as well and being transparent. When I chat to my clients, when we engage for the first time, I always ask them for, 3 things, a brief, a mood board, especially when it comes to logo design. A brief, a mood board, and I always have a call with them, once they've signed up and paid a deposit for the project, or even if they want a quick chat before. What you're doing there is you're basically laying out the rules, the boundaries of the project, how it's going to start, when you're going to see stuff. And I think as long as you're always in control of your process, it's quite easy. The managing side of it kind of looks after itself. So yeah, that's what I would say. Be in control of the process, be transparent, and overly communicate. That's what I would do.
It works. It does.
It does.
Dorian?
For me, managing clients and projects. Actually, I would say the way I manage them is I try not to get stressed out. It's about managing the time, and I try to give priority to projects, and sometimes I even separate these projects into tasks. So I guess the most important thing is you gotta find a way to manage your time and not get stressed out.
Yep. Cool. Awesome. And Jesse, what are your thoughts?
That was my phone that rang. I'm going to take a hit on that one.
Sorry, that was my phone.
Wait, whose phone was it?